Okay, I'm back, y'all, in Divinely Grateful Risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to Bible Clarity, y'all. Y'all know we are here to read the word, discuss the word, and build relationship with the Lord. Reading the Bible, 2 chapters at a time. And today we are in the book of Nehemiah. We just started the book of Nehemiah. We're on Nehemiah 4 and no, I'm taking back 5 and 6 today. Nehemiah 5 and 6, y'all. Like the live, share the live, share the love. Drop something in the chat that you're grateful for. Let's get in the flow of abundance. I know we're going to be talking about commitment. Nehemiah is building the wall, even facing opposition. There are people opposing him, Sanballat and Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, the Ashdodites, opposing him rebuilding. And even though he had multiple reasons to give up and to quit, guess what? He kept going. Why? Because our God will fight for us. And so he knows that. So he made sure his people were protected. He kept that scrap on him. I said it, scrap. I didn't want it because he kept that scrap on him. Okay, so he was strapped up. Let me say it right. He was strapped up and was okay. So they just kept on rebuilding and doing what they needed to do, and the Lord continued to fight for them. Nehemiah 5. Nehemiah defends the oppressed. Nehemiah defends the oppressed. Oh, let's do it. Let's get to it. Here we go. About this time, some of the men and their wives raised a cry of protest against their fellow Jews. They were saying, "We have such large families, we need more food to survive." Others said, "We have mortgaged our fields, vineyards, and homes to get food during the famine." And others said, "We have had to borrow money on our fields and vineyards to pay our taxes. We belong to the same family as those who are wealthy, and our children are just like theirs. Yet we must sell our children into slavery just to get enough money to live. We have already sold some of our daughters, and we are helpless to do anything about it, for our fields and vineyards are already mortgaged to others." When I heard their complaints, I was very angry. After thinking it over, I spoke out against these nobles and officials. I told them, "You are hurting your own relatives by charging interest when they borrow money." Then I called a public meeting to deal with the problem. At the meeting, I said to them, "We are doing all we can to redeem our Jewish relatives who have had to sell themselves to pagan foreigners, but you are selling them back into slavery again. How often must we redeem them?" And they had nothing to say in their defense. Then I pressed further. "What are you doing? What you're doing is not right. Should you not walk in the fear of our God in order to avoid being mocked by the enemy nations? I myself, as well as my brothers and my workers, have been lending the people money and grain, but now let us stop this business of charging interest. You must restore their fields, vineyards, olive groves, and homes to them this very day, and repay the interest you charged when you lent them money, grain, new wine, and olive oil." They replied, "We will give back everything and demand nothing more from the people. We will do as you say." Then I called the priests and made the nobles and officials swear to do what they had promised. I shook out the folds of my robe and said, "If you fail to keep your promise, may God shake you like this from your homes and from your property." The whole assembly responded, "Amen," and they praised the Lord, and the people did as they had promised. For the entire 12 years that I was governor of Judah, from the 20th year to the 32nd year of the reign of King Artaxerxes, neither I nor my officials drew on our official food allowance. The former governors, in contrast, had laid heavy burdens on the people, demanding a daily ration of food and wine besides 40 pieces of silver. Even their assistants took advantage of the people. But because I feared God, I did not act that way. I also devoted myself to working on the wall and refused to acquire any land. And I required all my servants to spend time working on the wall. I asked for nothing, even though I regularly fed 150 Jewish officials at my table, besides all the visitors from other lands. The provisions I paid for each day included one ox, six choice sheep or goats, and a large number of poultry. And every 10 days we needed a large supply of all kinds of wine. Yet I refused to claim the governor's food allowance because the people already carried a heavy burden. Remember, oh my God, all that I have done for these people and bless me for it. Come on, that's a good prayer. Remember, oh my God, all that I have done for these people and bless me for it. Continued opposition to rebuilding. Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem the Arab, and the rest of our enemies found out that I had finished rebuilding the wall and that no gaps remained, though we had not yet set up the doors and the gates. So Sanballat and Geshem sent a message asking me to meet them at one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But I realized they were plotting to harm me, so I replied by sending this message to them. I am engaged in a great work, so I can't come. Why should I stop working to come and meet with you? 4 times they sent the same message, and each time I gave the same reply. The 5th time, Sanballat's servant came with an open letter in his hand, and this is what it said. There is a rumor among the surrounding nations, and Geshem tells me it is true that you and the Jews are planning to rebel, and that is why you are building the wall. According to his reports, you plan to be their king. He also reports that you have appointed prophets in Jerusalem to proclaim about you. Look, there is a king in Judah. You can be very sure that this report will get back to the king, so I suggest that you come and talk it over with me. What? I replied, there is no truth in any part of your story. You are making up the whole thing. They were just trying to intimidate us, imagining that they could discourage us and stop the work. So I continued the work with even greater determination. Later, I went to visit Shemaiah, son of Deliah and grandson of Mehetabel, who was confined to his home. He said, let us meet together inside the temple of God and bolt the doors shut. Your enemies are coming to kill you tonight. But I replied, should someone in my position run from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? No, I won't do it. I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. They were hoping to intimidate me and make me sin. Then they would be able to accuse and discredit me. Remember, oh my God, all the evil things that Tobiah and Sanballat have done. And remember Nodiah the prophet and all the prophets like her who have tried to intimidate me. So on October 2nd, the wall was finished just 52 days after we had begun. They did that quick. When our enemies and the surrounding nations heard about it, they were frightened and humiliated. They realized this work had been done with the help of our God. During those 52 days, many letters went back and forth between Tobiah and the nobles of Judah. For many in Judah had sworn allegiance to him because his father-in-law was Shekinah, son of Arah, and his son Jehohanan was married to the daughter of Meshullam, son of Berechiah. They kept telling me about Tobiah's good deeds, and then they told him everything I said, and Tobiah kept sending threatening letters to intimidate me. The end, Lord, the end. Let me get a call. Let's see what our card is, child. They did not want him to build this wall. John 1 through 5. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God at the beginning. Through him were all things made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has yet to overcome it. This, of course, is speaking of Jesus, right? The light. It's crazy what people who walk it in their darkness will do and how they will just continue the ops, right? How the ops will continue to just try to come at you. And look, and just like we just read, right, in Nehemiah, there is no limit to how the darkness, the enemy, will try to use people, places, things, whatever he can to try to keep you from doing the work. Come on, God. The darkness is not going to win, okay? Those of us who are over here working on the light side of the street, We have to go through things just like Nehemiah did. We have to go through opposition and things that, people coming up against you, and you don't even know why they coming up against you. You don't even know why they want to take you out so bad. And it's simply because you're doing a good work. Drop that in the chat. I don't know if I'm going to start titling these or what, but I just heard I got too much work to do. Okay. I got too much work to do. 5 and 6. I can't. I got too much work to do. I'm busy. Not now. I'm busy. That's even better. Not now. I'm busy. Okay. So anyway, that's it. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Y'all, hydrate your soul and things, drink your water, say your gratitude. Remember this, no matter what's coming up against you, no matter how difficult it is, remember that you ain't got time. Not now. I'm busy. I got work to do. Okay. Just like Nehemiah, you're not gonna trip me up, you're not gonna trap me up, you're not gonna send in the opposition. Every time you're doing a good work, here come the enemy trying to bring in things and use people and all kind of stuff to get you off track and get you off target. Just be very mindful. We hip, right? We're hip to the plots and the schemes and the tricks of the enemy. And just so sometimes you got to say no, and that no is protecting you. Okay. So if God didn't tell you, then don't go, no matter what somebody else may try to convince you to do. Okay. That's it.